Alright guys, here we go. This is the Decimal Operations Unit Test Review. I'm going to go through each of the problems that we had to do so you can see where you went wrong and to help you make your corrections for a chance at bumping up your grades. Number 1. Owen lives 145.25 kilometers from Houston, Texas. Sharon lives 209.5 kilometers from Houston. How much farther does Sharon live from Houston than Owen? So I'm going to take the bigger number, maybe. Let's see. Yep, here we go. 209.5 kilometers minus 145.25 kilometers. I lined my decimal places up so that all of my place values are lined up. I put my placeholder 0 in any of my blanks, and I get started. I can't do 0 minus 5, so I cross my 5, make it a 4, cross off my 0, make it a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5, 4 minus 2 is 2, 9 minus 5 is 4. Can't do 0 minus 4, so gotta borrow. 2 turns into a 1, the 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 4 is 6, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So the answer to problem number 1 is 64.25. Number 2. The Little League Baseball Club in town holds open registration. During one weekend, they registered 432 baseball players. If 12 players are assigned to a team, then how many teams will the league need to form? You should know that we have to take these 432 players and split them up into teams of 12. Okay, so this was a division problem. 12 does not fit into 4. It's too small, so I put a 0. How many 12s can I fit into 43 without going over? 3. 12 times 3 is 36. Now we subtract. Can't do 3 minus 6, so we need to regroup. 4 turns into a 3, 3 turns into a 13. 13 minus 6 is 7, 3 minus 3 is 0. Drop your next number, which is our 2. How many 12s fit into 72 without going over? Well, it works out perfectly because 12 times 6 is 72. When we subtract, we get nothing left. So the league has to form 36 teams. Okay, the correct answer was 36. Number 3, a 128-ounce carton of milk states that there are 20 servings. How many ounces are in a serving? So I have this whole container of milk, which is 128 ounces. I know that we can split this into 20 different servings, and they want to know how many ounces are in each of those. So we're going to split that container up into 20 different cups, or to give to 20 different people, and see how much we're giving each person. 20 does not fit into 1. 20 does not fit into 12. So now I have to decide how many 20s fit into 128 without going over. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140. Oh, too big. So 120, which was 6 of them. 20 times 6 equals 120. I started with 128 ounces. I'm able to get rid of 120 of them, so I'm left with 8 ounces. We can't have anything left, so you have to put your decimal point and drop a 0. And we'll do that as many times as needed. So now I'm looking to see how many 20s fit into 80, and the answer is 4. 20 times 4 is 80. Started with 80, was able to get rid of 80, left with nothing. So there are 6.4 ounces in each serving. Alright, number 4. A recipe calls for 4 cans of 12.6 ounces of chicken broth. That means 12.6, 12.6, 12.6, 12.6. How many ounces of chicken broth does the recipe require? I want to know how many ounces is this all together. So I know each can is 12.6 ounces, and I have 4 of them. So I'm going to multiply. Okay, solve it like a regular problem. 4 times 6 is 24. 4, carry the 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus that 2 that we carried is 10. 0, carry the 1. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. And I look at my decimal point, I see 1 digit after, so I start at the end and I move my decimal point in 1 spot. My answer was D, 50.4 ounces. Alright, number 5. If you remember doing the study guide, or if you looked over it all before your test, this was actually the exact question from your study guide that we went over. Number 5. Mrs. Hoskins is going to plant her new garden. She purchases 4 tomato plants for $2.59 each, a package of watermelon seeds for $1.87, and a jalapeno plant for $3.88. How much will Mrs. Hoskins spend on seeds and plants for her new garden? So I want to know how much money she spent altogether. The first thing I need to do is figure out how much our tomato plants cost. I know how much each of them cost and how many I bought, so we're going to multiply to find our total. 2.59 times 4 of them. Okay, 9 times 4 is 36. 6, carry the 3. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 plus 3 is 23. 3, carry the 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. I look at my decimal point. I see there were 2 digits, so you have to move your decimal point in 2 spots. So altogether, just for the tomatoes, we spent $10.36. That is not your answer. We still have to buy the seeds and our plant. So C is out. So I need to take those $10.36. I'm going to add in our watermelon seeds for $1.87 and our plant for $3.88. When I add these up, we will find out how much Mrs. Hoskins spent altogether on everything for her garden, which will give us our answer. 6 plus 7 is 13. 13 plus 8 is 21. 1, carry the 2. 8 and 8 is 16. 16 plus 3 is 19. 19 plus 2 is 21. 1, carry the 2. 2 plus 1 plus 3 is 6. 1 plus nothing is 1. She spent $16.11 on everything for her garden. Number 6. Yogurt Express charges 17 cents per ounce for yogurt and toppings. Maria pays $2.04 for her yogurt. How many ounces of yogurt and toppings did Maria get? Well, I have to take my total, $2.04, and divide it up by how much each ounce cost, which was 17 cents. However, you cannot have a decimal point on the outside, so you have to move it as many times as you need to get to the end of the number. 1 spot, 2 spots. Whatever you do to the outside, you have to do to the inside. 1 spot, 2 spots. So this ends up becoming 204 divided by 17. That's our new division problem that you should have solved on this test. 17 does not fit into 2 because it's too small. How many 17s fit into 20? 1 of them. So I take my 17 pieces out. We can't do 0 minus 7. Regroup. 1, 10. 10 minus 7 is 3. Drop your next number, which is 4. How many 17s make a 34? 2 of them. 34 minus 34 leaves us with nothing. Our final answer was D. She was able to get 12 ounces of yogurt and toppings. we skipped 7, 8, 9, 10, and problem number 11. So, moving on to problem number 12. Granny Smith is making apple jelly. She fills 6.5 ounce jars to give as gifts. Granny was able to fill 9.5 jars. Okay. How many ounces of apple jelly did Granny Smith make? So we were able to fill 9.5 jars, and each of those jars had 6.5 ounces in them. So I want to know, what was our total? So I'm going to take the number of jars that we were able to fill and multiply them by how many ounces were in each of them. And that's going to tell us how many ounces of apple jelly we had. Solve it like a regular problem. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 carry the 2. 9 times 5 is 45. 45 plus 2 is 47. Put a 0 here. So 0, the hero doesn't get sad, and I don't get mad. 5 times 6 is 30. 0 carry the 3. 9 times 6 is 54. 54 plus 3 is 57. Now we add them all up. 5, 7, 11, carry the 1, 6. And then I look, oh, there's my decimal point. I have 1 digit after. Oh, here's a decimal point. I have a 1 digit after. 1 plus 1 equals 2, which means you need to move your decimal point in 2 spots. Our final answer was 61.75, which was B. Problem number 13, it says find the perimeter of the figure below. In 3rd grade, you learned that finding the perimeter meant adding up all of the sides of the figure. So I'm going to take it one side at a time, and then by the end we will have our answer. So 17.1 plus 19, oops, I messed up. 19.24. Don't forget, you have to line up all of your place values and your decimal points. I'm going to drop my decimal point, fill in any blanks with zeros, and I'm going to add 4, 3, 6, carry the 1, 3. So I did this side and this side. Now I'm going to add the next side plus 13. Remember, a whole number, make it look like a price tag. 13.00. Don't you dare put that 13 underneath that 34. Big bad. Drop your decimal point, add them up. 4, 3, 9, 49.34. Another side down. Plus the next side, 28.37. Drop your decimal point. Now, if you did this in a different order, or if you added all the numbers up all at one time, that's fine. You should still get the same answer as I do. 7 plus 4 is 11. 1 carry the 1. 6, 7. 17 carry the 1. 7. Now we should add the last side to get our final answer, which was 24.9. Placeholder 0. Drop my decimal point. 1. 16, carry the 1. 11 plus 1 is 12. 2, carry the 1. 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. I got 102.61 centimeters. The answer was C. Problem number 14 was a bonus. I'll go over it in case anybody wants to actually know the answer. But if you skipped number 14 or don't care about the bonus, you can skip forward to me going over the next problem. Number 14, Fit for Family offers a membership fee of $450 for the year, or the option to pay $41 per month. How much do you save each month by choosing the annual membership fee? All right, so we know for the year it costs $450. If I didn't sign up for that yearly membership and I only paid per month, we have to figure out how much we would pay per year because the number is going to be different. So if I signed up for the monthly plan, I'm going to do $41 a month times 12 because there's 12 months in a year. Solve. 2 times 1 is 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 0 so I don't get mad. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 4 is 4. Add your 2 rows. We would be paying $492 a year if we signed up for the monthly membership. Okay? So then it says, how much do you save each month by choosing the annual membership fee? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take that bigger number, 492, and subtract the yearly membership, which is 450, to find the difference between the yearly and the monthly membership. You end up getting $42. That's for the year. So now you have to take those $42 and divide it by 12 to figure out how many dollars you're saving each month. 12 doesn't fit into 4. It's too small. 3 12s fit into 42 without going over, which is 36 pieces we're able to take out. Got to regroup. 12 minus 6 is 6. So now, can't have a remainder, so we put a decimal point, drop a 0. How many 12s make a 60? 5. 12 times 5 is 60. We're left with nothing. So I would save $3.50 per month by signing up for the yearly membership. All right, number 15. We're almost there, guys. Stay with me. This problem, number 15, Mrs. Miller and I asked for the whole number answer. Okay, because this division problem goes on for a long time. So, Missy owns a photography studio. Her monthly rent and bills total $2,566.88. If she charges $150 per photography session, then how many complete sessions does Missy need to book each month in order to pay her bills? Well, I got to split that total up and divide it by each of the session costs to figure out how many sessions she needs in order to pay her bills. At least. So, 2,566.88 divided by 150. We're dividing by a whole number on the outside, so we're good to go and bring our decimal point straight up. Now just solve it like a regular problem. 150 doesn't fit into 2. It does not fit into 25. Only one of them fits into 256 because 150 times 2 is 300. And that's too big. So I can only take out 150 pieces right now. Subtract 6, 0, 1. Left with 106. Drop our 6. Now I need to figure out how many 150s fit into 1,066 without going over. So this is where we guess and check, but since I have limited space right now, I'm just going to put my 150s off to the side. So 150, 300, 450, 600, 750, 900, 1,000, 50, 1,200. We went too high. So how many 150s is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of them fit in without going over. 7 up top. Subtract out how many little pieces that is. 150 times 7 is 1050. Subtract 6, 1, drop your 8. And then we would keep going. Okay, but Mrs. Miller and I wanted to know what was the whole number of our answer, and we already have that. We can stop right there, okay? Which was 17 sessions. All right, number 16. The difference, you better know that's subtraction, between 18.9 and 16.34 can be found between which two numbers below? So I need to solve 18.9 minus 16.34. Line up my decimal point, drop it down, fill in any blanks so I don't make any mistakes. You cannot do 0 minus 4. If I have nothing, I cannot give you 4 cookies. So cross off your 9. Make it an 8, cross off your 0, make it a 10. 10 minus 4 is 6, 8 minus 3 is 5, 8 minus 6 is 2, 1 minus 1 is nothing. So when we found the difference between those two numbers, we got 2.56. So if we were looking at a number line, here's 2, here's 2.5, here's 3. 2.56 falls like right here. Okay? Somewhere around there. That is not in between 1.5 and 2. It is not between 2 and 2.5. It is between 2.5 and 3. It would have to be somewhere over here in order for it to be D, so D's out. The answer was C. Alright, then we have our last 4 problems. I'll try and solve them quickly. Okay, we got 2 multiplication and 2 division. Set them up like a regular problem of the day. 6.93 times 24. You're going to solve this like 693 times 24. And at the very end, we know to move our decimal point in 2 spots. Okay, because there's 2 digits after that decimal point. So 4 times 3 is 12, carry the 1, 36 plus 1 is 37, carry the 3, 24 plus 3 is 27. Put a 0 here so I don't get mad. 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 9 is 18, 8 carry the 1, 2 times 6 is 12, 12 plus 1 is 13. Add your 2 rows, 2, 13, carry the 1, 15, 16, carry the 1, 5, 6. 1 plus nothing is 1. And I already told you from the beginning of our problem, we need to move our decimal point in 2 spots at the end. So you start at the end and move it in 2 spots. So our final answer was 166.32. All right, number 18. 198.55 divided by 3.61. 3.61 would be our outside number, and 198.55 would be under our hook. But you cannot have a decimal point on the outside. So we need to move this decimal point to the end of the number. 1 spot, 2 spots. Whatever you do out there, you have to do the same thing on the inside. So now we have our new division problem, which is 19855 divided by 361. Okay, so 361 does not fit into 1. It does not fit into 9. It does not, it does not fit into 1. Does not fit into 19. Does not fit into 198. So now we have to guess and check and figure out how many 361s fit into 1,985. I'm going to tell you it is 5. 361 times 5. Let's solve it. to see how many pieces we can take out. 5, 30, carry the 3, 15 plus 3 is 18. Okay, so we can fit it in 5 times without going over, which means we can take out 1,805 pieces. Subtract 0, 8, 1, 0. Okay, drop your next number, which is a 5. Interesting. How many 361s will make 1,805? 5 of them. Perfect. We can take out all of the pieces. We're left with nothing, which means our final answer is just 55. All right, number 19. 16.7 times 61. Solve it like a regular problem, and we'll move our decimal point in one spot in our final answer. 1 times 7 is 7, 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 1 is 1, 0 so I don't get mad. 6 times 7 is 42, so 2 carry the 4. 6 times 6 is 36, 36 plus 4 is 40, so I'm going to put a 0 and carry my 4. 6 times 1 is 6, 6 plus 4 is 10. Add them all up. 7, 8, 1, 0, 1. Okay, and we said we'd move our decimal point in one spot. So our final answer was 1,018.7. And last but not least, 407.33 divided by 11. 407.33 divided by 11. We have a whole number on the outside, so we're good to go and bring our decimal point straight up. 11 does not fit into 4. How many 11s fit into 40 without going over? 3. 11 times 3 means we can take out 33 pieces. Gotta regroup. 3, 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. So drop our next number. How many 11s fit into 77? 7 of them. 77 minus 77 is 0. And you're like, oh, we're done. Lies. You are not done. You have to drop your next number. 3. How many 11s fit into 3? None. Put a 0 up top. Okay. So we subtract 0. We're still left with 3. Drop our last number, which is another 3. How many 11s fit into 33? 3. 11 times 3 is 33. Subtract, we're left with nothing. It works out perfect. The final answer for number 20 is 37.03.